Be careful out there, man.
All right. Hey, boy, hey, what are you getting, boy?
I can't tell you myself. You know what I'm saying? Sheiky. Got Sheiky.
Come on,
Hey,
man.
Sheiky. But they do that at. Oh, we got the perfect angle.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Oh, they can hear that, bruh.
Of course. Man, come on, man. This ain't my first roll.
They can hear that, bruh. Hey! This right here. You got them all loud, boy. That's a loud mic. Like Jesse Jackson.
There you go. I turn it down a bit. That better?
Oh, that's great, man. That's excellent, bro.
Try that.
What you doing now, man? Think I'm in front of my face, bro.
There you go.
Hey! Hey, man.
You know your mic.
There's somebody on there, man. You ain't got the comments showing, bro.
That's for your page. On my page, you do. I don't know what's on your page. That's your page. That's your page.
I know I'm saying somebody on there. You can't see the comments.
I know. I don't know why you don't do that. That's why I say when I go for mine, I can see everybody.
You don't know how to swipe the thing and that? You don't know how to work this thing, man?
It's different from mine. Some
You don't know how to work?
Nah, I don't. Cause of here.
Hey! Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. This is Joaquin Thompson coming to you live on the Daily Bread Radio Show. For everybody that's joining for the first time, I'm your host, and this show is about personal finance on different levels. Everything that we talk about is related to personal finance. Everything that, because it's my feeling that everything that you do is connected to personal finance. We're coming to you live right outside of Atlanta in Snellville. That's where the studio is. We want so badly to say we from
Atlanta.
We broadcasting from Atlanta.
We will.
But we want to do a live remote just to go down the street to get to Atlanta. But if you come to Atlanta, we right there. Just
20 minutes.
20 minutes from what?
Atlanta.
Man, it's way out here. He's under 20 minutes. Man, it take me.
It depends. No.
It'll be another day when I get home. When I leave here, man, I'll be looking at the North Star like, dang, got the car ahead. Maybe I might have to pull over. I might have to.
I had to get a room to rest.
I be wanting to pull over so bad. I'm like, Mama be so mad at me. Like, you got to do what? I'm sleeping. I'm going to have to pull over in a room.
I ain't gonna make it.
I ain't going to make it. After that show, all that energy. But we have a lot of fun on the Daily Bread Radio Show. And my charge, the reason that I do this show is for one reason only. And that is to educate my audience, to motivate them so that way they can elevate their life. That's it. That is it. And that is a lot because every week, this is our 40, listen to this number. This is our 48th episode. Could be 49 because in between them, we said it was 43, but really it was 40. But we go, officially, it's 48. This is our 48th show. So 2 more. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Because 48 is a lot. Because I don't have to tell you all, you've been trying different things. We're into April. A lot of people say they're going to be working out this year. They still looking, you know.
Under the weather.
Still got that 2017 look. So I don't know. We still waiting. We still waiting on 2018. And
Walking around with
but
the
the thing about it is,
they got a 6-pack, got a keg.
got a keg. But you know, it's just good to have the blessing to be able to be, I guess, have a gift that you can share with people, and to really have something where you know this is your true passion. Like for me, I know without a doubt I was born for this. I mean, literally born for this, to have a microphone, to have a platform to talk about personal finance and to do different things related to personal finance. And every single week that I've been on the air, I get another confirmation. Every week that I've been on this, every week that I've done this show, I get some type of confirmation. Either somebody emails me, sends a text, stop me, if I'm out somewhere, whether I'm here, I've been in Florida, people say, man, I seen your show. Man, I heard you was doing a show. Man, I like your show. Man, I caught your show. Oh, I went back and listened. So every time I hear that, it's just fuel. It's just fuel to really, just refute any, because I ain't gonna say doubt, because I don't have no doubt when it comes to this. When it comes to this, there's no doubt. No doubt, I'm the best in the business in this. In this arena, and what I'm talking about, personal finance, on a basic level, we ain't talking about derivatives and, all those other levels of investment. Yeah, there's people out there that real estate investors, more money, more this, more that. But in this, helping people understand the concept and the nuances and the secrets of personal finance I challenge you, it's nobody that can do this show the way that I do it. Nobody. And I'm like the old Muhammad Ali, not the late one, the old one. We taking all comers, We the best in the business. If you want to call into the show, the call-in number is 678-381-1970. Put that in the chat. Why?
I got you. Keep going. I got you.
He said keep going, man.
Keep going.
Y'all know a producer, too. I'm going to turn over a new leaf in 2018. Mm-hmm. But, the number to the show, 678-381-1973. You can call into the show. If you got a question about personal finance, if you got a comment like, hey, man, I've been, whatever, listen to the show, or hey, this is my first time, I had a question, or hey, I just want to call and, wish you well because I only have, I got a goal, because you got to have a goal, right? So the goal is 1,000 shows. Look at that. Like magic. Mm-hmm. You on the show with the Joaquin. What?
What are you saying, man?
Man, I'm tongue-tied. This is Joaquin with the Daily Bread Radio Show. What's your name and where you calling from?
My name is Rod.
Uh-oh.
I'm all the way in Conyers, Georgia. Atlanta.
Why you sounding so serious, dog? Hey, this dude is serious, right? Rob, what's happening, bro?
Hey, what's up?
No. You got to know. Well, Rod. Rod called up. No. Hey, man, you got to know Rod, bro. Rod called up this serious like, Rod called up. No, you called this like you don't want no playing. He want to let you know. Hey, dog, say that again.
When I'm gone,
hey, man, this is Joaquin with the Daily Bread Radio Show. What's your name? Where you calling from?
When I'm gone, then you
Hey, man, what's your name? Where you calling from? What's your name? Call
This is Ron all the way from the 4th Ward, okay?
Whoa! Oh my gosh, dog, ain't nobody gonna tell no jokes about you tonight, bro. You got the whole studio. Everybody in the studio. Rod, you the camera. Man, did you? Dog, are you outside?
Nobody after here, man.
Dog, are you outside, man? Because I need to know, because boy, you caught up in like you was like, hey, I made me think. I was like, damn, did I say something right? I'm like,
I'll see y'all next week.
oh my God, the show over, man, dog. We gone. Bro, man, you called up here scared the whole show, man. Dog, loosen up, man. What's going on? Man, loosen up, bro. Loosen up, man. Get off that bench. Get them weights down, man, and loosen up, bro. It's a family show. What you doing over there, dog?
Get a piece of chicken or something.
Man, Ron called up here with his angry, man. Did you call up here with your angry voice, bro? You call your brother's show with the angry voice? Man.
Oh, man, it's a beautiful moment, man.
Man, good grief, boy. I can't.
Oh, no, man.
See why I do this show, man? You see what I was talking about, Rod, all this time? Mm-hmm. But let me say something on this, man. One thing about this show, bro, one thing about the show, we don't do nothing but speak the truth on this show. Why are the comments on here, bro? People going crazy, man, comment. But anyway, we only speak the truth. So before you start with your question or your comment, I'm gonna say this. Since you called in, and I appreciate you calling in, but just know this. I'm gonna show you how deep it is, right? This was before I even had a radio show, right?
Come on.
This brother invited me and my wife to his house, right? And for a get together, just to get together, have a couple of cocktails, talk some trash, listen to some music. And then what happened was, as the night progressed, people got sleepy. They fell asleep on the couch. They was watching TV, and me and him started having a conversation. He was telling me about a radio show. Right? This brother's when I say die hard, you heard how you sounding?
Yeah.
If you say something, so don't do this now. Don't do it.
Okay.
Right? Don't do it.
Okay.
You know how you a kid, somebody get to tell you something like, I'm gonna tell you something, but don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do this. If you say something about the San Francisco 49ers, before you get that last whatever out, he'll be knocking on that door out there, man.
So you saying don't say
nothing, bro. Don't do it.
So
don't do it. I just told you don't do it, man. Don't do it. Let me finish my story, man. Don't do it. So me and his brother was talking, and he was telling me, I said, damn. So I was telling him, I said, man, do it. I mean, you know the Niners, you passionate.
Yeah.
Man, you'll be great if you do it. So fast forward, right? Things happen. The next thing I know, I got a radio show.
Yeah.
I'm doing a radio show, and he texted me, man, I was trying to catch the show, man. What happened? He said, man, I was trying to call you. I was this. So we've been missing each other, right?
Okay.
So he said, so the last time I talked to him about it, he said, man, I was gonna call tonight, but then I got caught up in this something. I said, man, don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? It was the anniversary show.
Okay.
I said, man, don't worry about that, man. I mean, I accept the blessing. The fact that you support me from afar, man, it just, again, gives me fuel to know that what I'm doing is what I'm supposed to be doing. Then on the way out here tonight, he called me, missed call, called him back. But then when I came in the studio, I said, well, when I get to the studio, I'm going to just call him back, right?
Yeah.
But I get in the studio, what happened? As soon as I look, Rick was like, man, come and get on the air, right? So then I'm like, boom, then we here. But this brother here, man, when I tell you, man,
San Francisco?
don't do it. Don't do it, man. We having a good, don't do it, man. Don't do it. This dude here, Ron, he a diehard Pittsburgh fan, so.
Yes, sir.
You know how the Jaguars got there manhandled them jokers 2 times. It's one thing, you know how you get in a fight? No, you know how you get in a fight and the joker got there smashing?
Yeah.
Then you say, next time I see him,
Yeah, we get it. I'm
going to get it.
Yeah.
I got the last time I slipped.
Yeah.
And then when I slipped,
Should've bobbed it.
he jumped on me and then he let me up.
Yeah.
Right? So you said the next time when I don't have on these dress shoes, when I have on these dress shoes, I'm gonna get it the next time. And then the next time you ran into him and you had on your sneakers.
Yeah. He caught you with that left.
He caught you with that left. Got on that slide ring came out. That's what the Jaguars did to Pittsburgh, so this gonna get a Pittsburgh fan, man.
Everybody did that to San Francisco.
Huh?
Everybody did that to San Francisco.
Ooh, I said don't do it, man.
I wasn't supposed to say
Don't do it, bro.
I wasn't supposed to say
Don't, man, did you hear the way he called up here?
How many games did we
Did you hear the way he called?
He mad.
He mad, bro.
He mad.
Did you hear that, boy?
Yeah, he mad. Yeah.
Bro, you start concentrating, you turning dials. I said, what is he turning the dials for? You looking down, and he on the telephone. If that man come up here, bro.
But how many games they win?
Bro, this ain't no sports show.
Okay.
We ain't asking them all that.
Yes, sir.
That man didn't call up here for that. Respect my guest, man.
Go ahead.
My guest ain't called here to be out there wrangled about that.
I hope they win at least 2 games, though.
Y'all ain't gonna beat the Jaguars. Why you hoping? And we got y'all at home. And if you want to go, we can go and see it in person.
Man, look here.
In Jacksonville. And what?
We're gonna beat the brakes.
It's gonna be 3 times.
Talk.
All right, man. Let me concentrate on the guest, man. The guest done called that you want to turn into a sports show. This ain't sports show on Saturday.
Yes, sir. You need to call
man.
Tell me.
Hey, well, I love you, Rob. What's on your mind, man? What's going on, man?
First time calling, man. I'm just trying to eat on some of this daily bread.
That's what I'm talking about. He trying to eat on some of this daily bread, man. Boy, let me, man, hey, man, I appreciate you calling, man. We, as you can see, this show has many twists and turns, but the one thing I can say is this is the 48th episode, and 2 more episodes we'll be celebrating our 50th episode. And like I said, man, every week that I've been on the air, just like tonight. This is a true story. Tonight, dude, I'm working, minding my business. Dude comes to me and says, "Hey, man, I got some seats, some front row seats behind the dugout for the Braves tonight. Do you want to come? They club seats. Do you want to come with us?" I said, "I can't go to no Braves game tonight." That's what I was. I said, "Nah." I said, "I can't go." He said, "Oh, okay." This joker came back like 30 minutes later. "You sure? You sure you can't cancel what you doing and come with us to the Braves game?" I said, I was looking at him. I was looking just like I said, to the Braves. I said, man, I'm saying to myself, man, I got a radio show to do. Man, I ain't going to no Braves game. This joker came back the 3rd time and said, "You know these some you know these some expensive tickets, and I would love if you came with us to the Braves game." And I said, "No, I can't go to no Braves game because I got a radio show to do." But I'm saying all that to say, man, it's nothing. I mean, barring if it was something related to my family or something catastrophic. Outside of that, I'm not missing it. I'm not missing it. So that's what it is, man. But I appreciate you calling in, and I was gonna tell you another funny story. And it's so I guess you would say ironic that you called, because yesterday, day before yesterday, my daughter took my grandson and my granddaughter to the pool for swimming lessons, right? So my grandson, my grandson loved it. My granddaughter, she was telling the instructor, like, "Hey, look, don't put me underwater." And the young, she told her, she 3. She said, "Don't put my head under the water." The instructor grabbed her head and got her, put my granddaughter in that water. I said, man, I know that water was bubbling like the Exorcist with my granddaughter. You heard the way he called in here? My granddaughter the same way. She give you that look, she's looking like, "Look,
I got you.
Hey, I got you." My grandson took his shirt off one time, called himself fighting. Guess what she did? And she a girl. She took her shirt off. It's so sweet. So when they started, so my daughter was like, "Yeah, I took him to swimming lessons." I said, "Well, hey, you know, I got a good friend of mine, and their kids in the swimming, and I mean, the older daughter be like stroking, and the son, he ain't but like 4 years old." So I showed her the video, and she was like, "Wow." She was like, "Yeah, I want him to be doing that." So I'm just saying all that to say, man, it was just, and that was just this morning. So
Wow.
that was this morning, bro. I showed her Nia and Noah. That one when you was going crazy, she was like, "Is that her dad?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's, he yelling out Nutella." And I'm like, what? And them people, I'm sure them people was looking like, "You got to leave. We're going to have to leave you." You heard the way he called in, right? So you can imagine him watching some swimming, and his daughter swimming.
It's on.
Against the light-skinned people.
Oh, Lord.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So
It's on.
boy, you calling him like, "Boy, you 38 hot." I said, "Damn, I don't know, some money."
What are we doing to him?
Dog, I
Matter
don't
of fact,
know.
I'm looking for my check for the endorsement.
Hey, man. Hey, it's coming, bruh. It's coming. You first time caller. Now you can qualify for a check. You know what I'm saying? But no, man, I definitely appreciate you calling, bro. That's
You say check.
He said a check. I'm not fooling with y'all tonight, man. I am not fooling with y'all tonight, but yeah, no. But all jokes aside, though, man, that means a lot, Rod. Calling in and checking in on me, man. And I'm still going over here. We only got 952 shows to go to meet my goal. Cause my initial goal was 1,000. So I'm 48 in, 48 shows in, and like I said, we got 952 to go. So we good to go. Oh, we gonna make it, no doubt. no doubt. It's bubbling. I got some better. It's bigger and better for 2018. Some of the stuff I'm gonna talk about tonight is bigger and better. You know, bigger and better. And I really truly believe that it's really up to us to you know, capitalize on the opportunity that we have, because you know, as a people, we need this kind of information. And some of the stuff that I've been looking at and thinking about, man, it's just powerful. So we definitely need that, man. So definitely appreciate you calling in, bro. Did you have a question, or you want to shout out anybody, or?
Just like a comment, you know.
Okay.
First of all, it's so fulfilling, and I just pray that people really reach out and connect with this show.
Okay.
Because there's so much information out here that, you know, I think sometimes some of the little things we take for granted that can be so impactful, you know, as people try to, you know, move forward. And what I mean by that is, like with my kids, I try to tell them, you know, each generation has to elevate even further on. So, you know, you talk about the swimming, and I tell my kids, even right now, you know, Dad's paying for college now, right? So, and they're looking at me with the crazy face, and it's like, what does that mean? And what it means is, Daddy almost finished paying his student loans right now.
Right.
You know,
Right.
we want to change that mentality.
Yeah.
It's not about just being accepted to a school. You can be accepted anywhere, but who's gonna pay for you to come to that school?
Right.
You know, and once you graduate, you know, your financial strength is that you don't owe anybody anything.
Yeah. That's
You know,
it.
we got to flip that. So I just want to make that comment, and just, you know, I just want more people to start looking at how they can just, you know, flip the financial strength and stability within their families, you know, and make it a lot easier for each generation of their family.
Bruh, that what you said is exactly why I do what I do. Exactly what you just said, because you know, being able to think into the future and do things now and set some things in motion now with the decisions that we make now is what's going to make it that much better for our children and then our children's children. Because everything that you just said, that's the truth. I mean, we talked about that very topic on this show. We've talked about student loans. We talked about what debt can do to you, you know, personally. We just shot a promotional series where we're going to be promoting the show. And while we were filming the promotional series, that was, you know, what I was doing during the promotional series was telling people my story, sharing my story with them related to exactly what you're talking about. Being like going through that financial gauntlet, if you will, and being able to come out on the other end and saying, okay, now when my daughter, and shout out to my wife Tanya, I see she joined, and Ashley, I see you on as well. And the thing that's so self-fulfilling about what you just said, Rod, was like I see it in my kids now, you know. And I, you know, a lot of times on the show, yeah, they my kids, and yeah, we talk to our kids, but just separate from that and just talking about personal finance, just about what we talking about on the show. I mean, my daughter, I mean, she's like my poster child for the Daily Bread radio show. Wasn't really paying attention to her credit, wasn't really paying attention to her credit score. And in short order, she's gone from really not paying attention to being a subject matter expert. Like, do this. Now she's telling other people, don't do this, do that. You know, she's 26 years old. You know, 27. This is 18. Yeah, 27. And, 28, 27. I'm getting confused. 27. And my son just turned 26. She's 27. And the beauty of it is she's telling other people. She's sharing it with her brothers and sisters. She's telling them where to go, what type of accounts they need to be looking at. You know, and then recently, I mean, one of the things me and her was talking about, and my wife earlier this week, we were celebrating because she went out and just being a smart you know, and this was way less than a year. Just listening to the show and doing this stuff, doing the things that I talk about on the show. Now she just must have been like Tuesday of this week right here. She got pre-approved to buy a crib.
Oh, good deal.
Pre-approved to buy our first house.
Wow.
Right? And that right there, man, is like,
That's huge, bro.
girl, you and our prayers. That's my niece. She done jumped on. I mean the world to me, girl. You, praying for you. Love you. Get you some rest. Love you. That's Nikki. That's my niece. But when you do those type of things and then you see that at 27,
Yes, sir.
then you know you've planted that seed, and now I know it's going to benefit her 2 kids, which are 7 and 3, right? Because as she has more opportunities and more things coming to her, now she's hypersensitive about her credit. Like, I don't want nobody pulling it. I don't want nobody touching it. I don't want nobody asking me about it. No, she's like hypersensitive to her credit, whereas before she was like, whatever. You know, like I didn't even know what a credit score was, right? But she went from 0 to 100, and now I'm like, I don't want no car. She's like, I don't want no car. No, I'm gonna drive this little Honda. I'm gonna drive this daddy until I drive it in the ground. Whereas before she learned the game, she was like, well, I want a new car. Well, now I don't want no note, right?
Smart.
So now she's thinking about the ramifications of what we talk about here from a debt perspective, from a budget perspective, from, you know, a credit perspective, and she's young. So everything that you just said, man, it's gonna come to light, because before you know it, in short order, because now you just turned 10, so you got about 7 years, right? 7 years, she getting ready to be a freshman on somebody's campus. And 7 years is not a long time. And college ain't getting no cheaper, you know. So we definitely hoping she get that scholarship, full ride, do her thing, by all means. And if not, then like you said, be in a position, you and your wife being in a position to say, hey, we got it. You ain't gonna worry about that. You go do what you need to do, and then we out. And then that just makes it better, like you said, for the following generation, because she ain't got to come out with that kind of, you know, debt burden and being limited in what she can do. So that's what it's about, man. So I appreciate you calling in, brother. Stay tuned, because we're going to talk about, I got a couple things I want to drop on the audience, and it's definitely going to bless your life as well. And I appreciate you, brother. Love you. And
man, love you too, bro.
Much love to the family. Tell everybody we said what's up, and we'll get together soon. All right, bro. Okay. Hey, you too, brother. Go Jaguars. Had to wait for him to get ready to hang up. So he got to slip that in there. Go Jaguars. Nah, man, that's my man. But what was I gonna say? Only got a couple of topics tonight, but I think they're 2 very impactful topics, and was a great segue. And I didn't even pay Rod for that segue. But tonight, wanted to talk about a couple of things that I learned about recently. And the first topic is called regrets, right? Regrets, right? And where I got that from, I think everybody's probably seen that Snicker commercial where the guy's getting a tattoo, and he says, regrets? Like, wait a minute, regrets? But what I was really wanting to talk about is regrets, right? Because I was doing some research earlier this week, and in this book, the book of the week, the book that I'm going to highlight this week is called Essentialism. And in that book, it talks about a nurse that was caring for people that were either, you know, admitted for different reasons or what have you. And a lot of times people in life want to do certain things, but for whatever reason, they never have the courage to break away from what other people want them to do, and then they end up having regrets about it, right? Like, I really should have done such and such, but, you know, my best friend or my football coach or my next door neighbor or whomever we let, you know, into our inner sanctum to tell us, like, we crazy. Like, I really wanted to, you know, open up a you know, a shop for knitting or whatever you want to do, whatever your dream is, almost like a dream stealer. So one of the things I want to talk about tonight is like, you know, we all should just kind of change our trajectory, change the way that we think, and really start thinking about, you know, not having no regrets about anything. You know, if you got something, you know, on your mind, if you're harboring anything, if anything's coming up, just let it go. I mean, just because because most times the stuff that we are upset or worried and this, that, and the other person that you upset about, they ain't even thinking about it, right? But it's hurting us because we won't let it go. And, you know, we gotta, you know, don't have no regrets. Because, I mean, we all have our best life in front of us. We all have our, you know, opportunity from the Creator to do the things that we want to do. So I'm always saying, you know, that was one of the things I was thinking about as I was reading that passage is, like, don't have no regrets. Just, you know, say what you're going to say, love who you're going to love. Don't love who you're not going to love. Don't pretend. Don't put all the mask up. Matter of fact, burn all the masks. Just be your authentic self. And, you know, sometimes when you saying yes and you really want to say no, you know, just have the courage to, you know, and another thing that I learned is the opposite of courage is not cowardice, right? Because most people think if you're not courageous, then you're a coward, right? But the truth of the matter is, if you're not courageous, you're a conformist, right? And a conformist is somebody who's doing what everybody else does, or doing what, hey, that's what, you know, everybody know you should do such and such. But forget everybody, right? Because I was looking at this brother on ESPN this morning, Shaquem Griffin, that's done set the, you know, the sports world on fire, the brother from, you know, UCF. You know, born with one hand and one of his hands was deformed. He ended up, you know, having to have it amputated at an early age. I think he was like 4 years old. Had a dream of being drafted. He was a twin. He's an identical twin. His twin brother's already in the league playing for Seattle. And this brother was like, I'm going to the NFL, right? And right now, he went to the combine, didn't get invited to the last minute. But then when he got to the combine, this brother got to the combine and ran the fastest time for any linebacker in the history of the combine. The history of the combine. So he was on the ESPN show this morning, and that's what he was talking about. He was like, he's like, what is the right way? What is what you can and can't do? He said, who defines that? He said, so when I say no regrets, forget what people are saying. Forget all of that foolishness and say, you know what? I'm going to do me. I see Corbin, I see you. You need to call into the show, man, to promote your clothing line. Adrian Thompson, I appreciate you joining. And Big Rick, my big brother, I seen you. I appreciate you joining. Vita Stoops, I appreciate you joining. And so we don't need to have no regrets. You know, if you don't want to wear...
Uh-oh.
I'm not fooling with y'all today, man. But whatever it is that you don't want to do, if you don't want to do it, say you don't want to do it, right? So that way you don't later on think like, you know what, I should have just said I didn't want to do it and be done with it, right? But, and don't have no, I mean, just think of how fulfilling your life would be if you live like that, as opposed to living the way that, quote unquote, you supposed to live or doing what you're supposed to do. Just do. That's what I always liked about going to New York. If you go to New York City, the thing that I always loved about New York City is everybody there is doing their own thing. They don't care what you doing. They don't care what you wearing. They don't care what you look like. Everybody's doing their own thing. So I've always had that, you know, type of, you know, vision to say, man, I would love to be in a place like that where everybody's doing their own thing. So I'm not saying leave your day job or quit what you're doing, but, you know, yeah, I mean, Rick is saying people appreciate honesty, but more so than people appreciate honesty, you appreciate it, right? When you giving it out, as opposed to just saying something so you don't because you don't agree with it, and you know if you say, well, I don't like that, that's going to offend the other person. Just say, I ain't with it. I mean, right or wrong, I ain't with it. And we too old for that anyway, right? You know, so live your best life. Be authentic. You know, don't have no regrets. Don't have no regrets, and and you'll be so much more happy, right? You'll be so much happier. You'll be able to act the way that we act on the Daily Bread radio show. Now, I didn't tell y'all this, but one of the things I'm going to share with y'all is this. Why, this is April, why did I walk into the studio today and my producer got on the dashiki in April? Why, where did they do that? Why did I walk in here and this man got on a dashiki and some dress pants with a gold chain on? Bro, I said, what is this? So this Black Panther thing that just went too far. You know what I'm saying?
That's money.
I was like, when last I had the nerve to iron the dashiki. So I'm like, I don't even know where you buy a dashiki
At the mall of Georgia.
Mall of Georgia.
But tell them how powerful that movie is, though, financially, though, the Black Panther. Tell them how powerful that movie is, man. That's hard to fathom, man. They didn't know that movie was gonna make that much money.
Bruh, this is what they didn't know. My producer said, tell everybody how powerful that movie was from a financial standpoint. But here's the thing about that. This is what I took from that. Just that making that statement, how powerful that movie was. The Black Panther movie, Marvel comic movie. The thing I took from that was this. Think about, this is why I'm doing the show. Think about this. I'm not upset about it. I wanted the movie to do well. I wanted the movie to be the #1 box office hit of all time. I wanted all of that. But here's the thing about the storyline. This is what I want you to think about this, though. If we control as a people, if we control 1 point, because I looked at some data the other day, it says 1.3. So I'm gonna use a conservative number. If we control $1.1 trillion, and if we could get everybody that went and saw Black Panther, and I mean everybody that saw Black Panther. If everybody that went and saw Black Panther start taking the time to think about their families, start thinking about where they spend their money, start thinking about investing in our businesses, and thinking about what we're going to leave for the next generation. Yeah, the movie was the #1 box office ticket tape of all time. But once that come and gone, what did it leave us with? No. I mean, I'm good. I'm down with it. I'm with the cars. I'm Wakanda forever. I'm with all of that. But at the same time, when I look at my kids and my grandkids, what's that going to do them with getting, able to improve their credit score, able to, get into a certain college, able to go to college without not having all this debt, able to, manage to, that's what I want. I want everybody that saw that movie to be like, you know what? Forget spending my money over there. I'm spending it with him. Why? Because he got a business. He's selling his chicken on the side of the road. I ain't going to no churches. I'm spending my money with this brother. So, yeah, I mean, the movie made an astounding amount of money. And I was happy for all of that, but I'm more happy if we could get that 1.1 trillion and start funneling it back into our community. That's what I would be excited about. Banks, we go to homecoming. I see a lot of people on here from different colleges. They go to different places. We go to Howard homecoming, FAM homecoming, A&T homecoming, South Carolina State homecoming, Grambling, Southern, all these different homecomings. But where we stay at? We ain't staying in our hotels. We staying in Marriott, Best Western. We need to own the hotel. If we nothing else, you're going to get a big homecoming. That should be enough. You should have an uptick, just an occupancy, just for that period of time. Graduation, so we got them. Howard used to have that's one of the things that's so impressive about Tuskegee. for the people that don't know this, the thing that's so impressive about Tuskegee is this. When I went there to visit maybe 4 years ago, a lot of people don't realize this. Tuskegee has a full, listen, I didn't say a partial hotel. They had a full service hotel on their campus. Full service. So if we gonna spend our money, let's develop some businesses. And people say, well, it ain't gonna happen in our lifetime. Okay, I get it. But guess what? Civil rights, emancipation, all that didn't have to happen in one lifetime. Let's start the conversation now. Let's start the action now. And then go, fast forward 50 years from now, maybe 50 years from now we have our own bank, right? The Bank of Wakanda, because we just talked about that. And you're going to make me miss my other topic, but since we on it, man, I was just talking to somebody about banks, investing, finance companies, all of these things. They need to be ours. So that way if we own them, when you go in and you say, hey, I need a loan, I'm not going to just give you the loan that's good for me because I'm going to make the highest commission, right? Because that's what's happening today. We go over there, give the dude all our information. He come back to us and say, okay, you approve. And what we start doing? Turn the music up. We approve. But here's the thing. You probably was approved for 4 other loans that they didn't give us because they're going to make a bigger commission on the loan that they gave us. And we just so focused on just forget being approved. But if we can look behind the curtain and say, well, look.
So you got to pay that bill.
You know what I'm saying? Main Street approved you. B Street approved you. And you can get a better loan. And I'm going to make a lesser commission. How many people going to do that? But it's for the greater good. I'll take a lesser commission. I mean, we ain't always got to be, cannibalizing each other, eating up everything. So I'm like, that's what we got to do. We got to go out of our way to support black businesses. And you're right, Tanya. It said, may you give tips on improving credit scores and to talk about why it is important to support black businesses. 2 big things. And we still got time. And this family. So, yeah, I am going to talk about it. First thing is improving credit score. Just talked about, again, I'm going to bring that back up. It's my daughter. It ain't me. It's my daughter. This was orchestrated. So if my daughter knows about it, guess what? Her kids are going to know about it. So when you say, what's the importance of improving our credit score? The importance of improving our credit score is this. Insurance is going to be cheaper, but let's take it a step further. Instead of our insurance being cheaper, now we're going to get better rates on everything. Not only when you improve your credit score, I don't really have enough time, and maybe we put that on for next week, to go through all of the steps to improving your credit score. So I'll make myself a note. So that's going to be next week's show. This is going to be like the next episode. So next week we'll talk about credit and ways to improve your credit. The importance of spending your money with black businesses, I could touch on that tonight. That is Black Panther. That's the real Black Panther. Because if we got to the point where we said, you know what? It ain't but one black cleaners in my city, but even if it's just one black cleaners and I got to go all the way across town to put my clothes in there, it's worth it. It is worth it. It's worth it. And if you think about the vital things that we need in life, we don't own them. Grocery store. Who eat more than us? We eating up. We eating up everything. We eating up everything, but we don't own not one grocery store. One. So if something was to break out, where you gonna go get your food from?
Where you get your gas from?
Where you gonna get your... That's the kind of stuff we need to be thinking about now. Like, man, let's put this into play. It ain't gonna happen today or tomorrow. I get it. Nor did civil rights, nor did, the abolishment of slavery, nor did segregation and integration. None of these things happen they happen over time. But you got to put a mark in the sand and say, going forward, this is what I'm looking at. Especially if I'm spending my money, because money is power. If everybody on this broadcast, if we pooled all of our, just this little group, if we pooled all of our money and all of our credit, Everybody on here, good and bad credit. 25 people put all of their money together and all of their credit, and we all signed on that lease. Guess what we will own? We could go out and get a building tomorrow. Tomorrow we can go and get a building. Tomorrow. But while you trying to do it, and I'm trying to do it, and my producer trying to do it, and okay, your credit bad, mine bad, his good, hers good, we losing. But just like we invest in teams, we need to be investing in us.
Exactly.
We investing in, and we all do it. I'm a product of everything that I'm saying. I'm telling you, I'm preaching the stuff I did. I had 3 kids: football, basketball, dance, AAU. AAU? You gotta be joking, man. AAU? I'm like, we ain't got time to be doing no AAU. We need to have an AAU for personal finance for young people. How about that? How about that kind of AAU? So when they come out of high school, we done took them all over the country. We travel. Where we going? We going, okay, this month we going to the New York Stock Exchange. Where we going next month? Next month we going to the Federal Reserve. Where we going next month? Next month we gonna go and see how they, create mortgages. Where we going next month? Not next month we going down to Equifax. So we gonna see how they create the credit scores. If we did that, just think about it. If all our kids came out of, I said hospital, even college. All of these students coming out of college, half of them. This is research. This ain't me. It's in all these magazines everywhere. 50% of the kids that graduate from college are going to be unemployed or underemployed for the first 3 to 5 years of graduating from college. And they got a student loan debt. So to Rod's earlier point, at least if they come out there under student loan debt, you can make some things happen. But if they come at you 6 months after you graduate and you can't get a job, because the market is a certain way, or you majored in a certain area, or we not making the decisions. I talked about that with some young men 2 weeks ago, part of the Capital League. I told them they need to make sure that they put themselves in position to green light other people in corporate America. So if you're going to work in corporate America, I work in corporate America. When people come, we need more people in corporate America, just like we used to do in the Underground Railroad. Just come on through. You good. What's your name? Shaquem. Oh, shit, come on there. I got you. What's your name? Oh, come on through.
Shiki.
Come on. What's your name?
Shiki.
Oh, come on through.
Shiki.
Now, you ain't going to get, if you come with that dashiki on, I'm not hiring you. You need to put on some clothes. We ain't hiring no. You know what I'm saying? But, just real talk, I got all off topic, man, but let me preface next week's show. Great dialogue, great questions, and Monica, this is my sister, man. The night is the show is blazing tonight.
Some of the comments.
Man, why don't you read the comments, man? You on the phone, you the producer. What you supposed to be doing? You want me to do everything?
Producer.
You want me to do everything?
Producing.
Not playing that goddamn Candy Crush.
Candy Crush. Candy Crush.
I'm not fooling with you, man. But it's just, hey, that's where we are. That's why I do the show. This is why we do the show. Mm-hmm. So Black Panther, yeah, of course. I'm 100. I went and saw it. I'm 100%. I'm with it. My grandson with it. We are with it. But I also want us to be with improving our plight and not just being a consumer. Mm-hmm. Are we buying Jordans? I'm like, if I see one more goddamn baby with some Jordans on, I'm like, why happened to the little white baby shoes? Mm-hmm. Them little white hard bottom baby shoes are supposed to be good for getting the baby feet deformed, right? What happened to the white hard baby? I don't even see the white hard baby shoes no more. The first pair of shoes that I see the babies with now is a pair of Jordans.
I'm like, that baby got on Jordans and you asked me for money for your light bill?
Man, y'all got me. I'm sweating up here. But anyway, no regrets, man. I couldn't get through with one topic today, man. No regrets. So next week's show, let's talk about next week. Y'all got to tune in next. Let's talk about a couple things. Three.
Come on.
Couple 3 things. One, we're working on a promotional series. Miss Johnson, I see you. I appreciate you. That's a good friend of mine. His mom. That's what I'm saying. This is generational. One of my good friends. This is mom tuning in. Like, bro, let's get the message out. Let's get the word out. I'll be the It's nobody in this business better at doing this than me. Nobody. Nowhere. Facebook, what's the other one? YouTube, Instagram. Nobody. Because a lot of people be talking about what they do. They ain't bringing it to the masses. Okay, you done made it. Tell us how to do it. Tell us what we need to do. Right? Don't be talking about, I got Rolls Royce, Bugatti. Okay. How I get one? I want a Bugatti too. I don't guess I want a Bugatti. I think I can go Bugatti to Mapleton. I don't think I can take a Bugatti to Mapleton. I have to get into another crib first, but I'm just, man, y'all something else, man. Y'all doing me. But check this out. Next week's show. Let's talk about next week's show. A couple things for next week's show. Bro, I'm a DP on, but this must be y'all about to make me go on overtime. Dog, I was just thinking about you, man. I'm about to call you. Shout out to the crew. So, this must be the night. See what I'm saying? And guess what? Man, this dude telling me about going to see the Atlanta Braves tonight.
Yeah.
And miss my show?
And miss your show.
I would have been out at the Braves game watching them sorry jokers. Lose. Win or lose. I'm losing. Yeah. Why would I go out and spend my... Why would I go see the Atlanta Braves when I'm working on a dream and I'm trying to help people? Why would I go see the Atlanta Braves tonight?
Shattering the glass roof. Say that.
I'm shattering the glass roof.
Educating people.
Man, you know what? Man, I'm not fooling with you tonight, man.
Let me hit it again.
I'm not, listen, man. Listen, man. All right, let's tee up next week's show, bro. Let's tee up next week's show, man, because tonight has been phenomenal. Couple things. Corbin, you need to call into the show, promote your clothing line, bro. You got all these people on. You got a clothing line, and we don't know nothing about it. So how we going to support you? How we going to buy the shirts, right? Liberation, right? How we going to buy the shirts and if you ain't telling people about it? So that's number one. I'm going to put you on blast. Corbin, you need to call me, come on the show, sit on here and talk. And you don't have to, and that's the thing, people, you don't need no millions of people. You need 10 people to do 10 things for 10 other people. And you selling the product. So do 10 times 10 times 10 times, your shirts cost 20. And that could be your next order of inventory right there.
You know your caller's still there. You know your caller's still
What's the number? Roddy, we out of time. You want to call?
You know your caller's still there.
No, Roddy's still there.
Yeah, that's okay.
He good. Roddy, you heard the way he called in. He ain't gonna hang the phone up. What you want to? Dog, what you trying to say? What you trying to say? See, I told don't say nothing, man. Don't say nothing. We been doing good, man. He was fine, bro. Oh, okay. Listen, man. Listen, man. So this next week. No, not Corbin. No. We're gonna have you come on the show, right? Because this is a young brother, got a clothesline. Take some time, and you might be at the gig. So just call, text me tonight, and we're gonna hook it up. Because I want you to come on. Because I want people to support. Right? That's number one. Number two. Next week we're going to talk about. Protection. I'm gonna let this marriage. This is gonna be like a cliffhanger, like they do. You know how you watching a good episode of a show, and you're like, what? Listen, I'm going to talk to you about what is protection. Protection is when you're in a battle and you got on a vest, right? Would you be a law enforcement officer would you not wear a vest? If people shooting, or not even shooting, but the potential to have shots fired at you. I'm gonna start the story off, and then next week I'm gonna end it for you. And this is a true story. We may go over about 5 minutes, so y'all hold tight. Listen. When my kids were small, I took them to the Universal Circus, right? This is a true story, but it's a metaphor about why we need protection. And I'm going to talk about it next week. They had a trapeze artist. It was a young lady and a guy doing the swinging trapeze, doing the flips, and she swinging from one thing to the other one. But the catch was this. They had no net. So for anybody that's been to the Universal Circus, you in a small venue, in a tent, where you right up on everything. They doing the trapeze, and first thing I thought about, I was like, I have me in that. Y'all say what y'all want to say, because our counterparts at Ringling Brothers, they'll hit that net and do a flip, try to make it cool. But it's there for protection. They had no net, and they flipping around in the air. This is a true story, man. This is true. The lady flipped. to catch the guy's hand, and what did she do?
Missed.
She missed the guy's hand and fell 30 feet to that concrete right in front of us.
She did.
30 feet down on some concrete.
She did.
No, she ain't dead. She wasn't dead. She broke her hip and traumatized all my kids. Yep. My kids ain't want to see no circle one. Next time I said circle,
that's all right.
They said, what was that? We talking about, my son said, well, that lady fell? I said, no, God damn. They said, oh, I'm good. I ain't want to see no circles. But here's the metaphor. If you don't protect yourself,
come on.
If you don't protect yourself and your family, if you don't protect yourself, what may happen to you, your wife, and your family in the future? And I'm going to talk more about that. So next week, we're going to talk about protection, right? Just like a bulletproof vest, just like a helmet. You ride a motorcycle, would you not put on a helmet? Some people don't, because in some states, it ain't the law. So why you need the law to tell you to get some protection? I'm going to tell you all about protection next week. We're going to talk about protection. Second thing is we're going to talk about credit, because that seems to be keep coming up. The real estate market is out of control. I mean, people buying houses left and right. We need to be educated. We need more educated.
Education.
What's the word? Education?
Education.
Oh, I said educated.
Yeah.
We need to be educated on how that, not just good credit, bad credit, but when your credit not where it needs to be, you need to know the technique. You need to know the language of what you need to do to get it where it needs to go, and you need to be in a position where you can explain it to somebody else in your family, because you may have good credit, but your brother may not, or your sister may not, or your friend or your neighbor. So if you truly a friend, brother, cousin to somebody else in your family, and they struggling with trying to get, I'm trying to teach so you can teach, right? So we're going to talk about credit and ways you can improve your credit. So I'm going to have a week to prepare for that. And so I'm going to leave those two topics there. You don't want to miss that protection, because I'm going to tell you some stuff that I've learned in the last 3 weeks. And none of this stuff I'm telling you is something that I read. This is what I do. I'm doing it because, like I said, it's nobody. You can call them. You can research it over the next week. It's nobody doing what I do. What I'm doing here, nobody. Nobody telling you how to get it. Nobody ain't telling you how to prepare your legacy. You might have 2 kids, 1 kid, 4 kids. If you got kids, small kids grow into big kids, right? Because we were smaller. Small kids grow into big kids. If you don't know the language, if you don't teach, it's just like teaching we teaching our kids how to read and all this other stuff, and we not teaching them about money and finance and credit, and we sending them out in the world and let somebody take advantage of them. Talking about you going to buy a car and don't even know goddamn interest rates and what interest mean and car payments, but you're going to buy a new car? Really? Okay. So next week, I'm getting choked up. Next week, protection. And we're going to talk about ways to improve our credit. Book of the week. This is the book of the week. It's called Essentialism by Greg McKeown. Essentialism. Go out, pick up a copy of this book. This book is phenomenal. Like I said, I always bring books on that I'm either reading or have read. This one I am in the process of reading. I read chapter 1 so far. Somebody referred me to this book. The first chapter blew me away. And the essence of the book is get focused on what's essential in your life, in your work life, in your personal life. Get focused on the things that are essential. That means people, places, and things. Get focused. If you're doing something right now and it has nothing to do with your ultimate mission in life, you need to let it go, right? You need to let it go. You can't be a cook and a seamstress. You might be good at, you can sew, but that ain't your gift. Your gift may be in cooking. So cook. Focus on cooking. And leave that seamstress stuff to somebody else. And I'm preaching to myself because people that know me, I like to hustle. So but I'm doing better. I used to have 10 or 15 things going on at a time. Now it might be like 2 or 3. And I'm trying to get it down to 1, right? So Essentialism by Greg McKeown. Gotta read, gotta keep reading so that way we can, continue to enlighten each other so we can do what? Educate, motivate, and elevate. Educate, motivate, elevate. Educate, motivate, elevate. Educate, motivate, elevate. That's all we doing on this show. That's all we doing. Educate, motivate, elevate. Educate. So spread the word. Next week, protection. I better break myself a note because next week people will be calling me, you say you're going to be talking about credit. And next week I'll come with it. I'll come and we'll be talking about wholesale real estate.
Regrets too.
When I have a regurt, right? I ain't having no regurts. You know what I'm saying? And my DP on one thing, I'm gonna leave y'all with a story. And this is funny. I can laugh about it now. And my DP from my fraternity, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, he's on the line. But this is something that I learned. The most challenging thing in your life at any particular time will teach you the most. It will teach you the most about yourself and what you're made of. Listen to this, what I'm going to say to you all. Due to the inner workings of my chronometer, I cannot say with any degree of accuracy what the correct time is. However, at the risk of being grossly incorrect, I estimate the time to be tick, tock, 9:05 Omega time. Now, to you, that might just sound like, oh, nice little poem, whatever. But in the heat of the moment, I struggled. First time I tried to do it, I was just like, thought about it, couldn't do it. But guess what? I focused and said, you know what? I will do this. This was 20 years ago. I said, I will do this. I will not be defeated. And it's in the Bible. The Bible in Proverbs says, humility. Listen to what I'm saying to you. Humility comes before honor. Humility. So all the people that's laughing at you, you couldn't speak, bruh, we wooded them up, all the people that said that, guess what? Perseverance is the word, right? Because what I did was at the time, yeah, okay, I took it, yeah, you're right. People still joke about it to this day. Yeah, bro, you popped up, yeah. But guess what? I said, well, how did it end, though? Tell me the end of the story. Don't tell me the beginning and the middle. How did the movie end? How did it end? It ended with me being so focused and so good at it that I could do this. I could do it. If I don't know that, I know this better than anything else that I know about my walk. But if somebody come up to me, I could say it in my sleep. I could say it backwards if I needed to. Because when you are at your lowest point or when you at your biggest challenge, that's when you find out what you made of. And if you come through that situation, bad credit, repos, no credit, overwhelmed debt, something, this, that, and other. If you come out of that, you'll learn from it and you'll get better at it. And you'll know. And you will be able to say, due to the inner workings of my chronometer, I cannot say with any degree of accuracy what the correct time is. However, at the risk of being grossly incorrect, I estimate the time to be. You can say it like that if you wanted to, or you say it slow. You can do it however, but you will learn it. You will learn it if you have it in you. So, excellent show tonight. Tune in next week. We definitely gonna be talking about protection. Prime, Bubblehead, love you, boy. Big D, love you. Duval County, Ms. Johnson, I love you. I love you, your sons, both of your sons, your daughters. I love everybody. I appreciate the support. I could not do this if you all didn't give me this confirmation. I could not do it. It wouldn't be possible. Next week, show 49. 2 weeks, we're doing a 50th anniversary show. So we're gonna do it real big. We're gonna do the balloons. You gonna bring something in for my 50th?
Of course.
Man, I don't want no. Okay. 50th show is in 2 weeks. So stay tuned. Tell somebody, say, hey man, it's a dude over there talking about something. And I don't know what it is, but it sounds good. Tell them to come and tune in every Thursday night, 8 p.m.
I don't know what it is, but it sounds good.
I mean, because when you start trying to explain it, I don't want you explaining it. Because then you start explaining it, they be like, man, go on with that. Man, go on with that. The man go on when he talking about what? Man, he'll fix your credit. Your credit could be so. They like, what? Man, go on with that. You don't know what you talking about. So don't try to explain it. Just say, man, just tune in 8 to 9 every Thursday. Daily Bread Radio Show, Facebook Live. You can catch them on YouTube. Soon to be, you'll be able to catch the commercials because we got the commercials coming out soon, right?
Absolutely.
The promos. So we just doing it. We just living the dream over here. No regrets. No regrets. Hey, y'all be cool. Love y'all. Peace. Appreciate the support, and y'all have an awesome weekend. All right.
Did you say something about Let It Go?
Huh?
Did you say something about Let It Go? This is TD Jakes. He got a little thing where he talking about Let It Go. You want to play out with that?
Yeah, you can play out with that. TD Jakes, he ain't no sponsor.
He will be.
Now, I want to
He
talk
would
to you
be.
about your latest book, Let It Go. And it really deals with a subject that's very
No.
near and dear to my
Okay.
heart. You know, most of us
You
have
the
been
producer.
hurt, we've been abused, we've been through something.
Absolutely.
And it's very hard to forgive. What really is the benefit to the person who needs to forgive? What's in it for them?
The benefits are countless. In fact, there's more in it for the person who forgives than it is the person who is forgiven.
Got that from
It
me.
is more blessed to
He got that from you?
than it is
He got that. Man, stop that.
forgiveness cuts
Did TD Jakes just get that from
He
me?
stole that from you. He been
Man,
listening.
go
to
and play it then.
He been listening
Since
to you.
TD just said, you want to play TD Jakes? I just said that.
that
He been listening to you.
attached itself to your life.
See, even TD Jakes listen to your show.
Your heart, so that you can see more clearly. The Bible says that the pure in heart shall see God. So when your heart is contaminated, you can't see God. You can't see His glory and His face and understand Him. But most importantly, it has health benefits, less stress. You sleep better. You're more creative. You're more resourceful. It affects every aspect of your life, and you are more eligible to work in higher regimes of life if you can deal with offenses, cast them off, and keep your mind focused on the greater good.
Wow. Now, speaking of all of the benefits, you know, I think about
We're
the
not gonna
Lord's
play the whole
Prayer.
We ain't gonna
Most
play
of
the
us
whole
learn
thing.
that when we're very young.
Right.
And there's
I know we
one,
all
I don't
gonna
want
play
to
the
say
whole
little
thing.
line because it's
No.
very profound, but there's a line in
Let it
there
go.
about forgiveness. Tell us a little bit about what that means for
I
us.
think that line really was the catalyst that inspired the entire book. It's to forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And I always stumbled over that
I
because I
figured
thought,
it
do
was
I
off
really
again,
want
what you was talking
God
earlier.
to treat
Yeah.
me
You
the way
contact
I
them, call
treat
us
someone
yourself.
who has hurt me?
You gone?
And that really caused me to begin to examine my own heart about how I am supposed to be a conduit of God's personality. But in fact, some of God's grace and mercy flows
That's
to
a different
me,
Jake.
but does not flow through me. And so this is a cathartic moment that allows
But
you to
I'm
allow
speaking. I
that
do have a
grace to
contact
pass
number.
through your heart, that you might pass it on to other people. And when you do that, you actually receive forgiveness as you allocate it into the lives of other people.
So the people who say, you know, God forgiving
That's my
you is
contact,
contingent on
TJ right
you
there.
forgiving others. Is
Work
that
with TJ
accurate
seriously.
or maybe a little different
Well,
from?
you know, that's what you're asking for in that prayer. You're saying, God, forgive me as I forgive those who trespass against me. Now, I think God in His mercy looks beyond our mistakes and often allocates forgiveness to us that we don't perpetuate in the lives of other people. But it is our responsibility as a Christian to perpetuate that grace. And the pain of giving it to someone who is guilty causes you to understand how you have pained the heart of God, and yet He allocates grace to us every day.
Wow, that is so amazing.
Yeah.
Now, there's probably someone watching right now, and they're thinking, you know,
See?
Bishop,
I told you.
that's easier said than done. You don't know what I've been through. I've been abused, I've been raped, I've been
Huh?
abandoned, rejected. They've been through some great things. What are some steps they can take toward forgiveness?
First of all, it is not easy, but that doesn't mean it shouldn't be done. I certainly don't want to oversimplify it and suggest that it is easy to let it go, but just because something isn't easy doesn't mean that it should not be done. And it's very important to do it.
Right, that's enough right
Man, he got that from me. How you gonna play the? All right, all right, TD Jakes, you better call up here. Cause he gonna be using my. Hey! Hey,
Mike is
boy, you cut my mic off?
It's on.
It's on now.
It's on now.
Hey! Hey! That's my song, yo, boy. Love that song, man. I love it, man. I love it. Love it. Hey! Woo! Ooh!
serve.
Let's do it again.
Hey, do it again. Hey. Oh, man. This is the Daily Bread. Hey. Boy, that thing, that was on fire. Man. Oh. Boy. Man, that was an awesome show.
Yes, sir.
Dang.
I'll always have a
Get on here, man. I
word because I'm here to serve.
Man, love y'all.
The Lord gave me this song in a dream. And when I woke up,
A1.
I knew that was a healing song.